What's good, YouTube? Hitman X. Make sure you hit that like and hit that sub. Show your boy some love. So if you're reading this title, like I said, I know it's gonna rub a lot of people the wrong way, but just hear me out. This is my opinion, and I feel like I could at least validate it with facts, right? So when I say the 90s era was overrated, when I say Jordan didn't have to play against a lot of competition, I'm basing my argument behind the teams that Jordan had to play, right? So when we're looking at the teams he had to play against, right? The Pacers, the Knicks, the Utah Jazz, who else? The Suns, the Houston Rock. Well, he ain't played the Houston Rock. The Orlando Magic. A lot of these teams, right? All these teams allowed Jordan to win. So Jordan won six championships out of that era, right? He won 6 championships in the 90s. Then you had the Pistons. I guess technically they won in their era. You had the trying to think. The Houston Rockets. They won twice, and the Spurs won one. So out of that era, 4 championships went to other teams. So it went to 3 teams. So 4 teams won out of that era. And Jordan won 6 of them. Tell me how that makes the 90s the toughest era. When one player is dominant over that era, and you got top players in that era like Reggie Miller saying that, oh, well, Jordan kept me from getting championship rings. They having roundtable discussions admitting that another man kept them from doing what they wanted to do. Right? I just don't get that logic. That never sat well with me because I'm like, dude, that's like some soft female shit to say. That's like some little girl shit to say. You don't say that as a competitor. You just don't. But like I said, I'm not taking anything away from Jordan. Jordan individually, he averages 30.6 rebounds, 5 assists because he was just that exponentially better than all those players. He was. And it showed. But as time went on, as time progressed, players got better. They took Jordan's blueprint and they elevated it from it, i.e. Kobe Bryant. Look at Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant took Jordan's blueprint and made it better, in my opinion. Kobe Bryant was a better three-point shooter. They were about even as far as mid-range go. And Kobe was a better defender, man. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Because Kobe played outside of the hand-checking era and still dominated defensively. At an advanced age, was staying in front of guards. Kobe had that chip on his shoulder to prove to everybody that he was better than Jordan. And that is, in my opinion, is what elevated him over Jordan. We could go to the rings and the MVPs and all that shit. But in my opinion, when I'm judging who's a better basketball player, I take the accolades out of it. And I just use eye test and how does your game translate to how does your game translate to wins, or how does your game translate to success? If that makes sense. All right, let me put it like this. If we're playing 5-on-5, who I'm gonna pick up? Right? Just off your game. Right? I'm picking KD over Kobe and Michael Jordan. Because MVPs and 6 championship rings don't matter. He's a 7-foot giant that can handle the rock like a guard. You know? Unstoppable. Nobody can stop this dude. You can't name one person that can stop him. Even Kawhi Leonard, to his credit, slows him down. But KD has so much in his bag that he can neutralize that and still get 50 on that dude. Like when we're talking about who's better, I feel like you got to absolve championships and just go off for their game and what do they bring to the game? What do they have to offer? You know? I can't put Jordan in this era and say his game, his style of play would be effective with a zone and team scheming and game planning more. Like you got game tape that you could look at and they have, technology is so advanced now. They have so many ways that they can study your game and break it down and actually scheme for you. Jordan didn't have to deal with that back then. That's a fact, you know? And like I said, if you ask me, the 2000s was the toughest era because more teams competed for championships and won championships. It was more diverse. The talent level was different. And it showed. It showed in the Lakers winning, the Spurs winning, the Detroit Pistons winning, the Miami Heat, Boston Celtics. Come on now, like, this is what I'm talking about. This is the argument I'm talking about. So it is what it is. You know, like I said, you can't get through to Jordan fans. They're just like LeBron fans. Believe it or not, they're just like LeBron James, if not worse, because they've been at it for so long. They've been at it for decades, man. It's Jordan. Jordan would average 50 in this era. How? Oh, because you can't touch him. That's bullshit. You couldn't touch him back then. Let's be honest. Let's keep it a stack. You couldn't touch Jordan back then, right? Hold on real quick. Couldn't touch Jordan back then. He was getting all the superstar calls. That's where the saying superstar calls come from. Comes from Michael Jordan. It originated with Michael Jordan. Believe that. Believe that. And when you look at Jordan in the 80s, he was a whole lot less dominant, right? And what do y'all like to say? Oh, he didn't have teammates. So that means in the 90s he had teammates, right? See, I find it funny. Y'all like to shit on Scottie Pippen when it benefits you or when you're trying to suit a narrative. Because before he didn't have Scottie Pippen before. So you mean to tell, does he need Scottie Pippen or did he not need Scottie Pippen? Because back in the 80s, he was getting his ass smacked around. And y'all saying, oh, he needed Scottie Pippen. He needed more players. So once he got more players, now he made them. Like, come on, which one is it? You contradict yourself. Just be objective. Stop looking at it from a one-sided view. And you'll see, like, yes, Jordan was great, but there's players that have an argument. I'm not saying these players are better than Jordan. Me personally, for my preference, I'll take KD over Jordan if we're just talking about player for player without the accolades because of his archetype. But if we're talking about who had the better career, who had the better legacy, who had the greatest legacy, of course it's Jordan. But one can argue Kareem had a better legacy, a better career than Jordan. That could be argued. You know, if 6-0 is your best argument, then that's a straw man's argument, you know? But player for player, I feel like players like I said, KD, Kareem, Jordan and Magic Johnson is kind of even to me. Kobe, I'll take Kobe over him. Player for player. Like, let's just stop acting like Jordan is just this God and untouchable. That's what I'm saying, because when you step into that realm, you become a fanboy. And it's disgusting. We're too old to be fanboys. Let's just cut that out. Hitman X, hit that comment section. Let me know how you feel about this. I'm out of here.